Of all the young quarterbacks that are in the NFL today, I am by far the hardest on Baker Mayfield. And there's a couple of reasons for that. One, he set himself up for criticism last summer by talking the Browns up like they were the best team in the league, claiming that they were the favorites to win the division before they had even taken the field. And two, unlike Sam Darnold or Gardner Minshew, who I'm also critical of, Baker Mayfield is surrounded by talent. Defensively, the Browns are passable. They're good enough. They've got a good pass rush. And offensively, Baker Mayfield has everything that he needs to succeed. Tight end, check. Two good receivers, check. Two good running backs, check. Good offensive line, check. Yet with all the talent in Cleveland, he has a career record of 13 and 18. Never won more than 6 games in a season. And a matter of fact, and I'm just thinking this off the top of my head, so correct me if I'm wrong on this part. But besides the win over Baltimore early last year, I don't think Baker Mayfield has ever beaten a playoff contender, a winning team. Now, before I go any further, let me just say this. I prepared most of this video before the Browns game against the Bengals last night. I know Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham looked great, but I'm not putting much stock into that. If you're Cleveland, you are supposed to dominate a team like Cincinnati, a team with a rookie quarterback that threw the ball 61 times. I know some people in Cleveland will take that game and believe that things are starting to come together for the Browns, and maybe they are. I don't think that. It would be like me as a Saints fan getting excited about them beating a team like the Dolphins. You're supposed to win those type of games. I have said countless times that this season is it for Baker Mayfield, in Cleveland anyway. And most likely, whether or not he will be a starting quarterback in the NFL going forward, or will be relegated as a backup. This season is it. We have seen this happen many times in the NFL. I mean, just look at Jameis Winston. He had 5 years in Tampa. Couple of coaching changes didn't help out in his development, but if you took away the interceptions, the turnovers last year, and I know that's a big if, but just go with me here. If you took away the turnovers, Jameis Winston would have been the number 1 quarterback in the NFL. He went from being a starter to backing up Drew Brees in New Orleans. And that same fate awaits Baker Mayfield if he can't get it together this season in Cleveland. It is a make or break year. And I don't think the leash is very long. You've got a first-year head coach in Kevin Stefanski, a guy that is looking to make his mark in the NFL. Bringing in Case Keenum in free agency, that wasn't a move to aid in the development of Baker Mayfield. Bringing in Case Keenum was a move made out of familiarity. Stefanski and Keenum were together in Minnesota the year they went to the NFC Championship game. But bringing him in was also Baker Mayfield insurance. It puts pressure on Mayfield to step up and perform, to get better. And if that doesn't happen, Kevin Stefanski has a quarterback on the sidelines that already knows his system and can step in and theoretically not miss a beat offensively. With all that being said, I think there's something that the Browns can do that would help Baker Mayfield immensely. Something that actually is being considered right now, or at least rumored. And while it might seem counterintuitive, I think it would be the best thing for the development of Baker Mayfield. I'm talking about trading Odell Beckham. I actually mentioned this during the offseason, and I believe the Browns could have started thinking about this during the season last year. But there was an excuse last year for the lack of chemistry between Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. OBJ's injury. He was injured throughout training camp. He played through injury all season. Most people blamed the injury for this disconnect between star receiver and quarterback. Well, what is to blame now? Odell Beckham is 100% healthy. They have had an entire offseason, 6 weeks of training camp to develop a connection or chemistry, whatever the hell you want to call it. And it's just not working. It's not working. The connection's not there. And what's happening is Baker Mayfield is trying to force the chemistry. He is forcing throws Odell Beckham's way, trying to appease him. Why? Because Odell Beckham has a reputation for being vocal or outspoken when he is not the focal point of the offense. So, to ease the tension, Baker Mayfield is doing what he thinks will keep OBJ happy. Now, what's the result of that? Odell Beckham has just 2 100-yard games in Cleveland. He averages about 60 yards a game, 5 touchdowns in 18 games. And against division opponents in the AFC North, he has totaled just 370 yards and 3 touchdowns. Remember when Odell Beckham was thought to be one of the most explosive receivers in the NFL? Yeah, that seems like a decade ago. He hasn't been a threat in years. This forcing of the chemistry, it throws the entire offense off. Forcing the ball to Odell Beckham takes away touches from Jarvis Landry, Kareem Hunt. It's almost like Baker Mayfield is playing on eggshells while he's on the field, doing everything he can to avoid the perceived wrath of Odell Beckham. It's like being in a marriage where the emotional connection between the dude and his girl has died out. But they're trying to keep it together. They're forcing affection, doing fun things they used to do back when they loved each other. But nothing is working. The connection is dead. It's not there. And everything they try to do to reignite that spark, actually, it just makes things worse. It's no different with Baker Mayfield and Odell Beckham. The chemistry just isn't there. And I don't think there's anything they can do to make it happen. That's the thing about chemistry. You either have it or you don't. Baker Mayfield said on 92.3 The Fan the other day that the chemistry between him and Odell Beckham has to come naturally. And he's 100% right. I agree with him. But going on 2 years playing together, it's not coming naturally. If anything, they just look unnatural playing together. Now, even though I think trading Odell Beckham would benefit Baker Mayfield, I still don't think long-term it's going to save his job in Cleveland. Now, some of you might be thinking, why would you trade Odell Beckham if it's not going to work out for Baker Mayfield? Well, because Odell Beckham is the most overrated receiver in the league, and he has a reputation of being a problem in the locker room. The Giants, they couldn't wait to get rid of him. Once you develop the perception or the reputation as being a locker room problem in the NFL, it is hard to wash off that stain. Just ask Terrell Owens. His bad reputation has followed him even after he's retired. Now, why do I say trading Odell Beckham is not going to save Baker Mayfield's job in Cleveland? Because the hard truth is, Baker Mayfield's just not that good. He's just not that good. He shouldn't have been the number 1 pick in the draft to begin with. I mean, think about the things that he needed to improve on coming into this season. Cleaning up the turnovers. Didn't happen. Become a quarterback that can progress through multiple reads. Didn't happen. On his interception Sunday against Baltimore, Calais Campbell saw him staring down the one and only receiver that he was focused on. He had another bad interception late in the game against Cincinnati. Baker Mayfield, he needed to clean up his footwork, his timing in the pocket. Didn't happen. I thought the Browns' offensive line played well against Baltimore. Baker Mayfield, he was still sacked a couple of times. He was hurried a lot because he is holding on to the ball too long and performing these dance moves in the pocket, just like he did the last 2 years. Believe it or not, and I know this is going to be hard to believe because I have been so critical of Baker Mayfield, but I am actually pulling for him to succeed. I know it doesn't seem that way because I'm so hard on him, but I actually like Baker Mayfield. I think he's entertaining. I like the way he seems to have matured over the offseason. And I always like the underdog. Baker Mayfield, he's cut down on a lot of the talking. He works hard. I think he's doing all he can to lead this team and win. But I have to be objective. And going on 3 years in the NFL, I just don't think it's going to happen. Baker Mayfield as a long-term starter. I've seen more progress from Joe Burrow in 2 games than I've seen from Baker Mayfield in 2+ years. We'll see what happens in Cleveland, but If Kevin Stefanski is going to stick with Baker Mayfield as his starter, I do think they will move on from Odell Beckham. All right, that's all for today. Hit that like and subscribe button. Click the notification bell to receive all notifications from the channel. Leave me a comment in the section below. Should the Browns trade Odell Beckham? And will Baker Mayfield be the starter in Cleveland long term? I want to hear from some of you Browns fans on this, so let me know your thoughts. You can follow me on Twitter at KC_BTL84. Have any questions, a topic you'd like me to discuss, you can email me at BTLKC84@gmail.com. I'll see you guys next time.